not to enjoy this bed.
No one escapes that sight.
What's going on, guys? So today we're looking at Peak of Vindagnyr. Vindagnyr. That's what I'm going with. So the main reason that you're going to be doing this domain is to farm out this Heart of Depth or the Blizzard Strayer set, which is pretty freaking awesome on pretty much every character that can utilize them. They do actually have some really nice effects, so it's really, really nice. Now, typically for these videos, I do make a couple of assumptions about when you're farming. Since this one only has 4 levels, I am going to just go ahead and play through level 1. I don't foresee it being that big of an issue. Being that you are farming for artifacts in this specific domain, I would highly recommend not to actually start farming until AR 40. Where you have a chance to get a 5-star artifact from your drops, and more securely you could wait till AR 45 simply to get a guaranteed 5-star drop. But there is some cases to be made if you are farming earlier than that and just going to be using everything that you get for pure fuel for when you actually do start investing in 4 and 5-star artifacts later on. So for that reason, we are going to be taking a look even at level 1, which becomes available at AR 30. The other assumption that I'm going to make is that you at least have a main DPS picked out. For this particular domain, I am going to be trying to use Kaya for my main DPS, and I already know that Amber is going to be a big deal, but I'll also be using just straight up free-to-play characters just to make sure that I can do it and that it's possible. But Kaya is going to be my main DPS, and he is going to be level 60. Most of the characters that I'm going to use today are just at level 60. You may see some characters that are above level 60 just for when I try to do it as fast as I can kind of do it, but that will be at the end of the video anyways. Just this domain in general, biggest things is it recommends a myriad of different elements. Honestly, it really is going to depend on kind of what you've got. I think that Pyro is probably the safest element to bring in. As you can see throughout all of the levels, we have cryo slimes, we have ice shield walls, we have cryo hilichurls, we have ice shield wall. I mean, you can kind of see there's even a cryo abyss mage here, and then we have a cryo abyss mage and a frost arm lava churl. So Pyro is going to be an easy bet. If you have Pyro characters, they are going to be very, very good here. For most of this domain, since we are also dealing with a bunch of cryo stuff, if you needed to, you could actually just go to your crafting table and use Lisa and craft some frost shield potions. You'll kind of get a kickback if Lisa's passive talent kicks in, but either way, you could craft a potion to help resist some of the cryo damage that you're going to be receiving, or if you needed to, like if you are using Pyro as your main element, you could go with a flaming essential oils. If you're using electro, you could go with shocking essential oils, or if you're using Geo, unmoving essential oils, and yada yada yada. You kind of get the idea. Some other ideas that you could do on each level, they all will work just fine here. Essentially, you could basically go through and cook some foods. Any of the foods that are going to help you output more attack, more crit rate, or crit damage are going to be great. If you needed defense foods, anything like that, of course that works well. And of course any kind of healing food that you need to bring in just so that you don't die. But specifically, let's look at our Leyline Disorder. This is going to be for every single level. So there's 3 different effects here. The characters in the challenge will continuously accumulate sheer cold, and you will lose HP after sheer cold reaches its limits. And the platforms in this challenge will intermittently switch between sub-zero and warm statuses. So this is kind of something that once you start to get the hang of the domain, you'll kind of get a better feel for how this works. And best advice that I can give you is, during all of the chaos that you're already having to deal with sometimes, try to pay attention to the floor. If you're on a glowing blue tile, that usually means that you're under sub-zero temperatures, which means you need to get off of that because it's just hurting your sheer cold effect even more. If you do find a glowing orange tile, then that is the warm status, which is going to get rid of the sheer cold for you and keep you healthy longer. And then essentially this third effect just literally says what I just said. So at level 1, we have 10 cryo slimes, 2 large cryo slimes, and 2 of the ice shield wall mitochurls. So like we said earlier, frost shield potion is going to be doing some good work here. If you are using a pyro character, of course, use your flaming essential oils, or rather any essential oil that makes sense for your specific team. So here's what we're going to be rocking. We are going to go with Kaya as pretty much our main DPS. Amber is built as pretty much just a support. we're really just going to use her for the Pyro application. Lisa, I guess, would be my my secondary DPS, like sub DPS kind of thing. And then we have Traveler as Geo specifically so that I can get some ice shields, because I think that would be kind of nice. And here we go. So, okay. So everything kind of spawns around you. I'm going for the big boy first. Yep, that's not too bad. Not too shabby. See if we can break this guy's shield really quick. Rip. I don't know what that was. What? Okay. So the general strat here is I try to use Pyro to my advantage as much as possible. Take down the big cryo shields that the slimes have. Use elemental reactions on the slimes as best you can. Whether it's Amber or Lisa, whatever element you need to use on it, it's very, very easy to get rid of the slimes whenever you factor in those. And then I like the fact that Geo helped basically just create shields and kind of put space in between me and some of the other enemies that were going on. And then just try to focus on whatever your biggest threat is first. Since you are kind of restricted to a time limit, it is all about just outputting as much DPS as possible, as fast as possible. But in general, I try to focus on the big enemies first, take out the smaller enemies later. Now at level 2, it does show we have 3 cryo slimes, 2 large cryo slimes, 3 of the hilichurls, and 2 of the ice stone walls. Everything else is pretty much the exact same leyline disorder. The only thing maybe that you would want to remember is either your potions or your essential oils and any kind of food you may need to help take care of all of these new enemies that we have, all of the new ones. All right, we're going to be using the exact same team, and here we go. It's pretty much the exact same starting pattern. I feel like this guy is my biggest threat right now. All right, so I am starting to take some sheer cold damage. I'm just going to move over to one of the nice tiles. For this guy we don't have, but yep. Just a couple of more guys here. Break this guy's shield. Nice. Honestly, that one's pretty much the exact same as level 1. Still, my biggest goal is to target the biggest threat to me, go ahead and get them out of the way, because at least the smaller enemies are easy to clean up. They may be a nuisance, but at least in my scenario where I brought Traveler, I can create space in between myself with the ult. That kind of stuff really does, really makes a difference whenever you start to factor it in. But yeah, I would just go after the biggest enemies first, make sure to kind of clear them out, and then from there, it's just using Pyro to kind of break down the shields as quickly as possible, and then just do, for something like I have built here, just reactions, or if you just need to pummel them with physical damage, go at it. Now for level 3. So we are dealing with 2 large cryo slimes. We are dealing with 2 of the cryo hilichurls, 2 of the ice shield walls, and 1 cryo abyss mage. Now the abyss mage is probably going to be the biggest threat to us here, but luckily since we have Amber, we can at least break the shield. And leyline disorder all makes sense. It's all the same. And just remember that if you needed potions or any essential oils, of course, you could definitely craft those. All right, I am going to start with Amber this time just to kind of make sure that if I get any kind of surprises, I can start breaking down shields first. And okay, looks like very similar pattern. Got these 2 cryo slimes. I'm going to break these down really quick. Give me that shield, boy. These guys are already back up. That's unfortunate. Just want to take this guy out really quick. Okay, you'll notice that we don't have any... Oh, the Abyss Mage is here. We don't have any warm tiles right now, which is kind of unfortunate. I want to get rid of this guy ASAP, because I know that he's going to be the worst of them. Definitely did not want that to happen. want to keep this guy staggered as much as possible. We've talked about that in previous build guides, or domain guides rather. Yep, and from here it's just kind of cleaning up. Let's make sure that we don't die though. Why don't you do something? Thank you. I don't know, for some reason Lisa just feels so clunky sometimes. This is gonna be a weird move. This is gonna be weird. Does it work? It works! Oh, I didn't get this guy. Ah. Just trying to stay out of the cold. And there we go. Alright, so that one's a little bit rougher, but as you can kind of tell, the way that I tried to take out the Abyss Mage as soon as the Abyss Mage spawned, I basically just, again, tried to take out the bigger threat of what I was dealing with, and after that, it's pretty much just cleaning up everything else that you've got to deal with. So for level 4, basically it reduces down to just 2 enemies. We have 1 Cryo Abyss Mage and 1 Frost Arm Lava Churl. Defeat everything in less than 10 minutes. In my opinion, the Lava Churl is definitely going to be the bigger damage dealer, but I just hate dealing with the Cryo Mage. I don't want the Cryo Mage to literally be there the entire time I'm fighting the bigger damage dealer. My general strat is to take out the Abyss Mage first and then whittle down the Lava Churl. Use any kind of pyro that you have to take down the shield and then just literally beat this guy up. And then you can take out the Lava Churl after that. One thing with the Lava Churl is for his attack patterns, most of the time he tends to attack twice in a row. So after you dodge one attack, be very prepared to dodge the second attack. Of course, the ley line's still the same, and if you needed to, you could cook any of your foods or your potions and essential oils just to kind of keep yourself healthy, attack driven, and damage resistant. So after this, I paused the recording to go heal up, and I completely forgot to unpause it and made a successful run. And then after that, I spent like a good 30 minutes trying to get another successful run and was just having a ton of trouble. So here's a couple of bloopers before we get to the actual successful run. That is one of the things about stupid Geo Construct. Okay, Abyss Mage is almost gone. Ah, no!
You're in for a little shock.
Oh, come on! Why? Dude, come on! How do I have like a super successful run and then just continue to screw up after that?
What's the hurry?
Let me out of here! Let me out of here!
Come a little closer. You're in for a little shock. Going out is
I need something that's not sheer cold.
tired.
I need something! Anything! No! No! What? Dude, come on! That breaks my heart. It really does. Okay.
You're in for a little
Hello? Sometimes it staggers, sometimes it doesn't. I wish it was more consistent. Need any square to turn into a warm square, please. I will gladly go to any square. Hello, how you doing? Come on. Dude, I hate the Geo Constructs sometimes, dude. They are such a blessing and a curse. Aw, man. What? He's full on berserk mode, dude. Come over here. Dude, I am trying so hard. Full on berserk mode again. Okay. That was dumb. That was like making it way harder on myself than it needed to be. Obviously, let's do this again, but with... All right, so I don't typically bring Gene in for a lot of things, but I do have a cool thing that I kind of want to try and show you guys that you can do with the Lava Churl. But essentially, Fischl is going to be the main DPS here. Diluc and Bennett are going to... Diluc's basically secondary DPS, while Bennett's going to be support. Gene is also a support, but my Gene is specifically going to try to do something to the Lava Churl. So pretty much going to do the exact same concept here. We're just going to go after the Abyss Mage first, and then we'll focus on the Lava Churl. All right, so now that he's dead, we can kind of focus on this guy. Now, the thing I wanted to show you with Gene, if you just charge attack, you can actually stick him up in the air. And this actually works out really nice for quite a few scenarios where you can do some dumb stuff where he can't, like, move for a short period of time, which is really nice. And you can prevent him from putting his shield back up, which is the main reason that I would use it. Basically, the best thing about this guy is keeping him as staggered as possible. That could have been way worse than it was. Yep, see? You can just kind of stick him up in the air for a little bit. Just do your thing. Whatever you gotta do. Yeah. Now, that's not like super fast. That's still like roughly 5 minutes. But to be honest with you, that's pretty much the gist of how this goes. You pretty much want to focus on whatever your biggest issue is, because not only do you have time against you, but you also have sheer cold. So it makes it almost twice as bad as a DPS check. But as long as you target the biggest threats first, at least that's how I do it. I try to target the biggest threats first to get them out of the way so that I can just kind of clean up all of the other things that don't really bother me afterwards. Now, of course, for characters, this one is going to be kind of easy. Basically, any Pyro that you have is going to be really great. Whether it's Diluc, Klee, if you're, if you've got Zhengling, if you're only stuck with Amber. Amber is a possibility. You guys seen me do it with Amber. She can do the work. Now, do I think that necessarily she is like the big star? Maybe not. Just kind of depends on your team setup. Xinyan actually does pretty well here. When I first started running it, I think my team was Fischl, Venti, Xinyan, and Gene. Just because it was super easy to start the match with Venti, and you can kind of push the Abyss Mage below ground, which is kind of like... It does that for most places, but Eventually, actually, what you're just doing is pushing them underneath the floor for just a quick second. It just gives you a little bit extra time to set up. It's not like it makes or breaks the domain, unfortunately. But you could basically, what I did was set up with Sinyan so that she could help melt the shields, and she was a Claymore user, so she could help break down the shields a little bit easier. She also provided physical damage buffs to Fischl, which Fischl for me is a physical damage dealer. So it was just kind of no-brainer. I used Jean a lot to stagger the Lava Churl, just like I showed you in that previous run, and just kind of did stuff like that. Now, pretty much outside of your Pyro characters, Hydro characters are a little weird. Honestly, though, I don't ever bring Hydro into this domain. Just be careful with it if you do decide to bring it. Geo actually is in a pretty nice spot because Geo can actually create the shields. Like I like to use Traveler in the free-to-play version, just so that I can help get myself some more resistance up against the cryo damage that they're going to do. Although the Lava Churl does spit out quite a bit of physical damage as well. So it just kind of, you know, depends. And then outside of that, I mean, cryo, maybe up against the Lava Churl, it would be pretty decent when he doesn't have a shield. But the Abyss Mage is not going to really care too much about the cryo stuff. And Electro is like perfectly fine. Doing superconducts and stuff like that works out really, really well. So I think Electro could do you pretty good. But as just a general recap, Pyro definitely going to be the best thing that you've got here. Even if it is Amber, she is worth bringing, even if she's low level, honestly, just because the quicker that you can break down shields for things that are going to have cryo shields applied to them is going to help you out immensely. You may have to dodge and weave and bob and stuff like that to prevent yourself from dying if she is low level, but at least if she can break some shields, it will help you. Pretty much going to be the gist of it, guys. Once this video goes up, we will have another poll. This is the last domain of blessing that we have, so kind of nice that we don't have to worry about these anymore. The polls will continue, and we'll keep going through and doing the domain of forgery that we have left, plus the 2 domain of masteries that we have. And then after that, we should be really, really close to finishing all the domains. And yeah, so thank you guys for hanging out. Thanks so much for watching, and see ya. Major shout out to Cherry Blue, who is a YouTube member.